Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we're going to take a look at the brand new LR Prime Battle Cell. Now, I do gotta say, I'm actually pretty impressed with Prime Battle Cell here. I think they did a very, very good job in making him a very useful card. So, of course, you know, he is Prime Battle. He is going to be completely free to play. And again, I think he's actually going to be a valuable unit despite the fact that he is free to play. But you might have to build him a certain way, right? So the number one thing about Cell, he gets 20,000 attack and defense at the start of turn. You know, all these Prime Battle units, they don't get like big percentage buffs or anything like that. It's always like just that one number at the start, right? Now, alongside that, Cell will get an additional 20,000 attack when key is 18 or more. So they want you to get that 18 key super attack. But then he has just a lot more. Like, he does a guaranteed crit if the enemy has attack down. But he also, you know, inflicts attack down with his 18 key super attack. Plus, like, if we think of the Artificial Lifeform team, which is filled with attack down lowering units, Cell is going to be doing crits left and right. Like, if the enemy is capable to have attack down, on a lot of these teams that Cell is on, Androids is full of attack down units. You know, MVP 17 does attack down. All these units do. Like, a lot of these teams, Cell's going to be busting out guaranteed crits. You know, he's going to do very reasonable damage. Oh, and we got a lot of key right there for him. That's pretty good. But he's going to be doing very reasonable damage, I would imagine. Now, we are on the Transformation Boost team. I mean, this is... He might be able to get a higher attack stat on the Android team. Okay, so 1.61. That's definitely something I will take, considering he also lowers attack. On his 12 key super attack, he does, like, heal. So he does a lot of stuff. I like him. The other thing Cell does is that when you do a super attack with him, he gets an additional 1 key up to a max of 6. So the way it looks, I think the best way to build Cell is to go full additionals in the dupe system. Because let's just ignore like how much damage he'll do. Like, quite honestly, with how, you know, difficult like certain events are these days, Super Battle Road, you know, Dokkan Battlefield and stuff like that, I really do think building towards the defensive aspect of cards is just a lot smarter these days than going damage. Because the way to beat a lot of these events is not to overpower it with damage. You know, you want to... Okay, so like a unit that would have really good chance to stun, you know, giving them additionals might be a better idea than crits, right? Or maximizing a certain unit that has the ability to, you know, heal or dodge. You know, okay, if the unit can dodge, maybe add more dodge to it, you know, to give yourself a better chance. I think a lot of that does work pretty well. All right, so Cell, right? He's going to slowly build up key. That's just going to be something that he's going to constantly do. So you do want to make sure he gets super attacks. But, like, the additionals will even more so help him out, you know, to help him build it. Like, so if you give him 15 additional, right? So, like, if that additional super pops in, it's going to be easier for him to super attack because he's going to have even more key. And then here we go. On his 12 key super attack, he recovers 15% HP, which is a pretty large number, honestly. So I do feel as though this Cell, in a lot of situations, could be very helpful. Like, you know, right now doing no item runs for, like, the extreme stage of Super Battle Road, right? And, like, I'm looking at this Cell, and it's like, I can't help but think that he could be very useful there. You know, when you just think of the fact that he can lower attack, which is very, very good. Like, in doing those no item runs, you know, the way... Well, I guess let me not spoil it. I'm going to upload the Extreme Physical Run probably later on today. But, like, you know, lowering attack, it could be just such a strong and, like, monster, like, ability to have. Like, it's so good. And, you know, it works in a lot of the difficult events really outside of, you know, easy ASOs never work. Legendary Goku event, after a certain point, it doesn't work. Like, that's why it was so difficult to beat the Legendary Goku event with the Artificial Lifeform team, is because of the fact that as you get further and further into that event, Goku eventually at a certain point is no longer capable of having his attack lowered. So at that point, the team just starts taking, like, ridiculous damage, right? But up until that point, you know, with Baby lowering attack all over the place, it's just not really so much of an issue. So, like, as Gohan just has this, like, super low attack, like his attack is constantly being lowered, our boy Cell is just going to do very, very good, right? So like there, we are able to get an 18 key super attack for him. I don't imagine LR Cell is going to finish off Gohan. I've been thinking, I mean, Cell hasn't been very impressive to me lately. I probably have him on the lower end of summonable LRs. I guess it is kind of hard to compare something like LR Cell or LR Super Baby 2 to like, you know, LR Majin Vegeta, whereas like, you know, Cell doesn't do nearly as much damage as Majin Vegeta does, but he has a lot better defense, right? Same thing with like Gohan, you know, compare like Baby to Gohan, right? Like, you know, Gohan does infinite more damage than LR Super Baby 2 is capable of, but, you know, his defense is definitely a lot better, and he does lower attack. So I do feel as though, like, you know, when I talk about some of the worst LRs or something like that, the case could probably be made that, like, you know, Baby and Cell, you know, they're better than like Gohan or Majin Vegeta or LR SCR Broly in certain situations, because those LRs can't really do both offense and defense, right? But at the same time, physical LR Trunks and then the tech LR Goku Black, those units have aged pretty well, because, you know, they raise their defense on their super attacks, so they could still be pretty formidable both offensively and defensively, right? Either way, I do think this Cell is definitely a really, really good unit that was added, right? Because he just, it's kind of like first form Cell didn't really have like a big top tier card, a really useful card. There was that one that could heal a little bit, but he was nothing really too crazy, right? Whereas now this Cell, I do think, has a variety of uses between his attack lowering and his healing. You know, these are things that are really going to be able to benefit a lot moving forward. Again, I'll probably try and take him into extreme stage of Super Battle Road. I don't know if he's like going to be a secret weapon to no iteming it, because, you know, I'll need to see how well his defense would look like, you know, in that extreme stage. It's probably not going to be good enough to get it done, right? But, you know, maybe he could benefit. You know, like when I look at all these new units from this update, really I'm looking at, like, okay, yeah, who is gonna help like in the Super Battle Road runs and stuff like that. And, you know, look at Nova Shenron. Like, Nova Shenron is such a huge addition to that Shadow Dragon Saga team, man. Like, I think he bursts onto that team because he's going to be so strong offensively and defensively, and then he's going to give this massive power buff to like the LR Super Saiyan 4s, you know, Physical Omega, all of those types of units. So Nova is definitely going to strongly improve the quality of that team, you know. And then you have like Nova, really it's like that last slot for the Shadow Dragon team was the weakness, right? So like now you do Omega, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you know, the two LR Super Saiyan 4s, Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then Nova Shenron. Boom. You're good to go. Because, you know, something like Pan or SR Trunks, they just will get absolutely crushed. Like they're gonna get hit so freaking hard. Whereas, you know, these other units, like the Super Saiyan 4s, are good offensively and defensively. But of course, you know, for Gogeta, you do need the 70% chance of his to actually, you know, activate, so that he can go ahead and dodge and counter the super attacks. The other thing about Cell, too, is he is an artificial life form category leader of 100%. Now, I do find it interesting that they've now given us a 130% leader for this team and a 100% leader for this team, but we have not yet gotten like a true big category leader skill for the team of 150% or 170%. So we'll see what happens there. I thought a transforming Cell or a transforming Android 13 were like the two candidates. So when I said transforming Cell, though, I was thinking like a Cell first form that would transform throughout his forms, but obviously that's not going to happen as the leader for this team. Usually Dokkan and Legends do kind of release things at similar times, but it doesn't seem as though Dokkan, like, I doubt Dokkan is going to do Android 13 for the 300 million download celebration. I imagine that would not be the best idea, right? So, like, you know, kind of thinking about certain things like that, right? So, I don't know. Maybe for the 300 million download celebration, what we'll get is Gohan. Like, everyone really wants a transforming Gohan now at this point. But if we also got, like, some sort of Cell, another Dokkan Fest Cell, I think that would work quite a lot. another Dokkan Fest cell who would be the artificial life form leader. That would be interesting. I mean, let me know what you guys think of this first form cell. Honestly, considering that this guy is just a Prime Battle LR, I think he actually is going to provide enough to the team that he definitely is going to be worth it, right? Considering he's completely free to play. I really like these units now that are able to do a variety of different things. Like the fact that Cell, Key could potentially be an issue for him, but like especially if you're giving him like full additionals, he should be able to get additional supers at a reasonable rate. At least once every 3 or 4 turns, I imagine he got a good chance of getting an additional super. Just based off of my experience with units that have full additional, I feel like he'll have a good shot. And like then at that point, Cell will build up the Key from his passive, which will kind of offset like his links, right? Because really, if we look at it, I think he's only really got shocking speed. I mean, he's got shattering limit as well, which I mean, I guess like with LR Super Baby 2 would work good. But it's mainly just shocking speed because things like Flee. Oh man, Flee is such a bad link. 1 Key when HP is 30% or below. Yeah, that's not really too good. I mean, I guess he does have Attack of the Clones. I think that would work well with some of the Cell units, but we'll see. So let me know what you guys think of LR Prime Battle Cell. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.